This is Wake Up and Lead, a daily podcast where ambitious young professionals learn to lead themselves. I'm your host, Hampton Dorch. Today we're talking about fitness, and I'm talking about how you are closer to seeing your abs than you think. Now, I know we have multiple different body types on here, different fitness levels, different goals, and so I know I can't possibly speak to every single person, but I will mention a few just habits that really are not that big, which is why I say you're closer than you think. Like they don't take that much effort. They don't take that much time. And if you can start doing these things, then you will definitely be on the right track. Some will be physical, some will be mental. The first that I will mention is alcohol consumption. Now, I'm not going to tell you never to drink alcohol. I drink alcohol sometimes. But if you get in the habit of doing that like rather frequently from a physical standpoint, it's just not good for you at all calorically, and also physically you don't recover like at all. So like if you're getting up and running in the morning, like you're not going to feel very good, or it's going to limit the muscle growth. And then also mentally, you're not going to feel great either. And so alcohol, not only like, let's say you work out one day and you're like, well, my rest day is tomorrow, so I'll drink tonight. Well, that almost, depending on how much you drink, which I'm not condoning getting drunk, don't do that. But if you drink a lot, then that's just ruining that recovery day. And the day that you don't work out, you're not actually recovering. And so I just think it's important to be mindful of your alcohol consumption. I might have just been a total buzzkill here. And I would say follow like the 80-20 rule. My friend Michael Smoke, I've had him on here. I'll have him on here again. He talks about the 80-20 rule, which really applies to so many different things in life. But if you're eating like really healthy and you're dialed in 80% of the time, and then the other 20% of the time, maybe don't go completely off the rails, but just think about it that way. Maybe don't be in the habit of like going and just having like a beer or two every night. I'm not going to tell you what or what not to do. I'm just saying that alcohol is worse for you than you think. If you want to dive deep into learning more about alcohol, listen to Andrew Huberman's podcast on it. Is really good. So that's going to affect you mentally and physically. Again, love having a couple of beers with the guys, not telling you not to do that, but just be mindful of that. Number two, from a physical standpoint, get your steps in. Everybody says 10,000 steps. It can be a little bit less. It can be a little bit more. But I think so often we're walking 4,000 or 5,000 steps a day. And if we can make time to get 30 minutes to an hour walking outside, you'll probably get to that 10,000 step mark, and you'll burn more calories by doing that. But also you'll get outside, you'll get some sunlight, and you'll just feel better overall. And the steps compound over time. People sleep on that. Getting the steps is really important for you. Also, protein. I cannot emphasize this enough. Eat 1 gram per pound of body weight if you want to maintain and build muscle, or at least 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. Also, protein tends to be more filling or satiating, meaning if you eat lots of protein, you'll probably eat less calories, but you'll be full, and then you'll cut weight that way. And then another thing to mention is be mindful of the sauce that you're using. So many people are eating, several hundred calories of sauce a day. And I understand that sauce tastes good. I get that. But if you can limit that or take that out of your life and just eat like hot sauce with whatever you're eating instead, then you'll probably like lose a bunch of weight doing that. I've talked about this before. It's kind of depressing, but I know some people that eat Chick-fil-A sauce on everything. If you have 2 servings of Chick-fil-A sauce every single day, if you were to eliminate that from your diet, that would mean that 1 day a week, it would be equivalent to essentially fasting, depending on how many calories you eat a day. So be very mindful of the sauce that you are eating. Another thing, water. When you wake up in the morning, crush some water. It's going to be really good for you. I'm not going to go into the science behind that because I'm not a scientist, but I know that drinking water is good for you, and drink it throughout the day. Take a cold shower, and cancel me for talking about, hustle culture, but a cold shower from a dopamine level is going to be so good for you. It will increase your dopamine by up to 250%. You will feel so good. It's way better than coffee. I know it's hard, but like you feel so good after you do it, and you feel so sharp. Also, focus on quality sleep. Don't be looking at your phone before bed. Don't look at it right when you get up in the morning. Prioritize sleep, and it will go a very long way. So I talked about alcohol, getting your steps in, protein, limiting sauce, drinking water, cold shower. Yes, this is a bunch of stuff, but it's all small. Like almost none of it requires a lot of effort. Like you may need to think about your habits when it comes to protein. That might take a little bit of time, but like a walk outside, that shouldn't be that difficult. Multitask, listen to a podcast, talk to somebody on the phone. And then the sleep thing, that's just being intentional. Drinking water is easy. sauce, just stop eating so much of it. So a lot of this stuff isn't hard, but if you did all of that, like, because a lot of people are doing almost none of it, if you went to doing all of that, I think it would have a dramatic impact on you and the way that you look and you feel. And that's just the beginning of you venturing into a lifestyle of awesome fitness habits. I am rooting for you. You can do this. It's time for you and me to wake up and lead.